Hello, good morning, and welcome to another episode of Hotel Room Yap. With Michaela. I am sleepy, but not the worst rest. I got about 5 hours of sleep, which isn't the worst. Not the best. I went to bed at 5 a.m. last night. Isn't that crazy? Oh, that's crazy. I am staying. Where am I? I'm at a Marriott. I'm at a Marriott in Kingsport, Tennessee. Pillows are decent. Bed is pretty good. My neck isn't sore, which is great. So clearly the pillows are doing a good enough job. Or also I'm just not stressed out by somebody's emotionally immature son. Anyway, this, is kind of pretty looking, this little bed frame situation. Yeah, I always find it interesting that the headboards are attached to the wall. I mean, not that they shouldn't be, but sometimes they're just glued. I'm like, this is just a piece of wood that's just been attached to the wall in here. Anyway, I guess today I kind of wanted to talk a little bit. It's a balance of a couple things, and also, yes, this is a Magic the Gathering and Avatar collab t-shirt that I got from San Diego Comic-Con. By the time you guys are watching this, the collab will probably be out, so those Toph cards are cool. I wanted to talk about not feeling guilty about just doing what you want to do. Not to the point of being rude, we need to, be nice people. But last night I was at dinner. It's a combination of that. There's two things I'm going to talk about today. But the first one, last night I was at dinner, and then I was done being at dinner. I wanted to leave. Everyone was still talking and yapping and hanging. My social battery was done. I wanted to leave and swing by. There was a burlesque show last night. Swung by for literally 2 acts. And then I wanted to leave. And so I left. And so when you're done, I think one of the hardest things as a people pleaser, but also as somebody who maybe doesn't feel like they follow the norm of what other people do or like doing, it can be hard to honor yourself and your own boundaries. Because when I'm done somewhere, I'm done. I'm out. I want to go. I don't want to be here anymore. But some people might think that's rude. I'm well, it's only rude to you. Because I have no obligation. It's not a professional reason for me to be here. It's not I'm leaving an awards show where I'm being honored or something. I'm just done. And if somebody finds that offensive, that means that they care more about how they feel about my company than how I feel and what I want in that moment. Which means, do they really care about me? Probably not. Leading to my second point, I think we all need to get a little bit better at letting the disrespect disgust us. I am starting to learn this a little bit more. I always thought that people who had really, really strong boundaries, i.e. only a couple of friendships, didn't have a particularly large circle, seemed a little catty, a little cold. I was I think they're just mean or they're whatever. No, they're not. They are freaking protective because they should be, and so should I. And unfortunately, I've had to learn that a very weird, hard way. I have been so open. Not this last year, no, but in my life, everyone that I meet, I gave the benefit of the doubt and thought, oh my gosh, this could be a great person. This could be a great friend. I can trust them. Their energy is sweet. And they might be a fan of the show, but they still like me as a person and have the emotional capacity to be fully present in this new acquaintanceship or this new friendship or whatever it is that we're doing. And now I unfortunately don't know if I believe that anymore. But it's not jaded. I'm not meeting people being oh, I can't trust them. No, it's just the amount of openness and capacity that you give a new friend or a stranger, it is now being monitored a bit more, if that makes sense. And perhaps that is because there's a good return to self happening. I definitely, I think growing up in know, maybe lots of people grew up this way, but there was this sense of like the more friends you have, the more liked you are. Like the popular people were like loved by everyone and cared for by everyone, but were they really? Were they really loved and cared for? Or did everyone just like the idea of them or being cared for by them or being friends with them? Because caring for somebody actually takes a lot of patience and time and energy. And yeah, I don't think it's possible for you to do that to a large group of people. Some people are better at having more friends than others. There's just more capacity, sure. But there's no way that you can have deep, energetic, soul connection, energy support with thousands of people. Probably not hundreds of people either, but I just used an extreme. Hundreds of people. I don't think you can like deeply emotionally support 500 people. Even if you're a licensed therapist, I don't think you have the capacity for that. Bro, sorry. Housekeeping knocks drive me insane. Insane. They're so aggressive and loud. Like, what? Anyway, I understand their purpose. I do, but I'm so like sound sensitive. They didn't even knock on my door. They knocked on a door across the hallway, and I was like... Also, there was a couple fighting in the room next to me last night, and I think he was like yelling this morning. Bro. Anyway, there was a couple fighting, and I was like, I felt so bad. I was like, dang, he's throwing me. It was not nice. He was, you know, saying mean things and cursing and whatever. And so she walked out. She was like, where are you going? She was like, I'm leaving. I'm not putting up with this. And I was like, hell yeah. Heck yes. Great example. Great freaking example. Let the disrespect disgust you. Freaking get out of there. Anyway, so yeah, there have been some people this last year that really disappointed me. And, you know, it's harder to navigate the microaggressions or micro offenses when on paper, technically nothing is wrong, right? Technically, nobody did anything. Nobody messed up. Nobody really lied. Nobody really betrayed you. Not really, you know, there's some gray area. Those are the worst ones to navigate because people who are trying to take advantage of you will use that and be like, well, but you were already broken up, and well, I just didn't want to make it uncomfortable, and well, guess what? You still messed up, because the reason why there's even this gray area is because you existed in a space where you felt guilty or did something wrong or had feelings or jealousy or whatever that you did not come clean about. That is why the gray area even exists. It wouldn't have to exist if you freaking owned your shit. There's a lot of cursing in this one. Probably gonna have lots of beeps. Sorry, Matt. And sorry, y'all. Matt Bond is my editor. He's the GOAT. We love Matt. Yeah, and then there are people around those people who've done you wrong, even though they won't claim it's really done you wrong, because nothing was really wrong. But it was wrong. That's why you're hiding from me. And who claim that they don't want to know the details and they just want to stay out of the drama. Well, guess what? You're an accomplice in hurting me. And if you don't reach out afterwards and you don't touch base and you don't say, hey, how are you? Are we good? That's on you. And if somewhere down the line, maybe you don't recognize it. All right, I'm dealing with people who are younger than me. I don't know. Maybe that's a factor. But if you end up a few years down the line being like, man, really what happened? Or I guess she just doesn't like me. No, that's on you, baby. If we stopped talking and we had like a fun little rapport and then the fun little rapport went away, that's on you. That's it. And if you don't realize that you were part of doing something wrong, I'm sorry, I'm too tired, I'm too busy, I don't have time to teach you. Again, not on me. Now, there is a certain level of us learning from each other and teaching each other, etc. But there is a certain line where I feel like it's pretty obvious that I've been hurt or that you messed up or did something weird. And if you don't recognize that, there's a certain level where I'm like, all right, then I don't think I can help you because it's so obvious to me. And I'm sure that there have been some people that I have been the opposite of, where it's like I've done something that is clearly hurtful to them. And I didn't clock it, or I was selfish in the moment, or I was too distracted by other things, and then I lost a friendship, an acquaintanceship, a colleague, etc. And that's how life goes. I have been the villain. I've been the villain. Not this last year. No, I have not been the villain this last year for anyone who is curious. I might be in my villain era now. I'm just kidding. My villainera just includes me focusing on me and continuing to level up. So if you'd like to call that a villainera, go for it. But in the past, yeah, of course, I've done a couple things where I was like, ooh, that was crappy. That was crappy. Absolutely. Shitty moment. But I could probably count on one hand. And then if there were other moments, I was either just checked out. Anyway, point is, we've all had moments where we have been the crappy person and then we lose people, okay? But I just hate the continued victim mentality of people who just never actually take accountability for the little micro crappy actions that they take, and then they just compound, and then they're like, oh, well, this other person must have an issue because I didn't really do anything wrong. Yeah, you did. Hello? And so, for my lovely fellow entertainers, people pleasers, humans that just want everything to feel okay and for people to like them, etc., etc., the disrespect should disgust you. Because if somebody respects you and has a spine, if you're a coward and you respect somebody, you might still mess it up. But if you respect somebody and you actually have a pair, you will be honest. You'll apologize. You'll have a conversation. You'll reach out. You'll reconnect. There will be a moment of, hey, this matters to me. You matter to me. Let's fix this. Let's resolve this. And then you will. And you move on, or you won't, and you'll move on. But when people care, they care. They communicate. They let you know. It's that easy. And the same goes for me. I mean, some things fall through the cracks and it's not that deep, right? Every connection you have is not going to be this deep. It's not going to be this big, brooding, emotional, whatever. But for people that were very big and a big part of your life and around for lots of pieces of it and pretended like they cared. But see, maybe this is my misjudgment too. Maybe I just care more deeply than a lot of other people and I expect the same from them. And then I get my feelings hurt when they don't. And that's something I'm trying to learn and adjust to too. But I also should try to recognize that early on. Maybe, I don't know how I'm supposed to gauge that, but some sort of gauge of okay, how emotionally deep is this person meeting me? Are they capable of supporting me the way that I could support them? Is it worth me investing, me caring, etc.? Or maybe I just shouldn't care about anybody. No, just kidding. That will never be me. I care too much. I love things and love people. And I love love. So that will never happen. But we can start being a little more protective, Maybe this is the crossover into the 30s that people talk about, just being a little more in charge of your crap and knowing what's up. Anyway, I'm hungry. What time is it? 10:46. The show opened at 9 a.m. for VIPs. Crazy. I texted Dustin, the table goat for the weekend. He's helping me out. And at 10:30, he was like, it's pretty sleepy. There's one human here. I told him you probably get here around 11:30. And he's fine chilling. And I was like, okay, cool. Because I'm 3 hours ahead of LA. So right now it is 7:30 in the morning LA time. And I'm starving. Oh my gosh. Do you guys wake up just absolutely famished? I am so hungry. Oh my gosh. I could eat a small army. Just kidding. Yeah, so those are the two things that I wanted to talk about today. Mainly the second one, obviously. But I don't know. I really don't like following what other people like for the sake of being accepted and content with just the group flow. I don't know. It's just rubbing me the wrong way. I feel like I'm in this very weird transition period. Yeah. Very reflective. And I think, maybe the thing that makes this difficult for me is that I actually just really like people and I want the best outcome to happen. I would love to have lots of best friends and love to have lots of people that I care about and who care about me. And I think the hardest thing about the letting the disrespect disgust you thing is that there's going to be a lot of endings. And endings can be hurtful, especially to those who grew up maybe moving a lot or without a parental figure or without either parental figures, or if you had family members who left a lot or there was a sense of emotional abandonment or whatever, that I think you start clinging and relying on people. And I think that can be tough. And I think when you're super sensitive and super emotional, things can hit differently. There's still a castmate of mine whose phone number I don't have, and I kind of take it personally. there have been, I mean, there's not really a reason necessarily, but like other cast members have hung out and done things that, I was like, oh, maybe, maybe if I had done this, or maybe if like the vibes were different. But then I also realized that it's truly not my problem. Like, if people don't vibe with you, they don't vibe with you. That literally doesn't mean that you are a bad person. For some of y'all it does, but for the most part it just means that like the energies don't vibe. Whatever, it's fine. And then you go and you find the people who you vibe with. And if you find yourself outgrowing those people or shifting, then you go find other people who you vibe with. And like, that is just it. Perhaps this whole thing is just, law of detachment or whatever, the power of detachment, the peace in detachment. But without detachment, without discarding. Detachment without discarding. Maybe that should be the title of the episode. No. It's probably going to be like, let the disrespect disgust you. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But yeah, detachment without discarding. The discarding is brutal. Oh, God. Yeah. I got love bombed and discarded this last year by somebody, and I had never experienced that before. Not like this. Like, I think there's like little bits of like love bombing at the beginning, maybe of like a relationship, a friendship, whatever, can be like exciting, right? And then it kind of levels out, whatever. But like the textbook of just like showering, and then all of a sudden trickle away, and then they're just gone. I had never experienced that before. Crazy. Maybe we'll talk about that. Maybe we'll talk about that tonight. But I kind of talked about that last week. Or I guess 2 weeks ago now, because I didn't do an episode last week. But yeah, I kind of talked about that already. But it still like is boggling my mind. Like, my little abandonment wounds, anxious attachment. I think I'm fearful, like disorganized attachment. I think I'm all over the freaking place this year, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, I don't know. That was crazy. So the detachment without discard. You can be kind and cordial and still disconnect and detach without being cruel and just discarding. Like, discarding means that there's no respect for like a person. Anyway, I should get ready. Oh gosh. Yeah, I should get ready. Getting ready can be difficult sometimes, Okay, the book. The Creative Act, A Way of Being by Rick Rubin. At this point, I feel like I'm just dedicated to the bit of like using this book for the rest of this year, and then I'll like pick a new book for next year. Anyway, let's see. I'm gonna go kind of towards the beginning. Let's see. Okay. If a piece of work, a fragment of consciousness, or an element of nature is somehow allowing us to access something bigger, that is its spiritual component made manifest. It awards us a glimpse of the unseen. Maybe we could call that a gut feeling. I don't know. Intuition. If a piece of work, a fragment of consciousness, that part, or an element of nature is somehow allowing us to access something bigger, that is its spiritual component made manifest. It awards us a glimpse of the unseen. Nice. And with that, thank you for joining me for another episode of Hotel Room Yap. We're figuring it out, guys. Taking it day by day. I will see you guys next time. Bye.